Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I've been kind of resisting reading on this, but I think I'll jump in. This is going to be a reading with Judge Merchan, Donald Trump, and the New York criminal trial. Now, Judge Merchan is going to rule on Trump's team's arguments that because of executive privilege, the New York state case, which happened before Trump was president, should be tossed out. Because that makes sense, right? Oh, because Hope Hicks said a couple of things that happened while he was in office, so clearly all the other evidence should be ignored. Oh, and he wrote some checks, too, in the White House. Okay, whatever. And then Merchan rules on it on September 18th. However, what was interesting is that the state of Missouri filed a motion with the Supreme Court saying... Their Republican Attorney General Andrew Bailey filed a July 3rd lawsuit against New York State asking the Supreme Court to pause Trump's impending sentencing and the gag order placed on him by New York State Judge Juan Merchan. Bailey argued that the criminal case against Trump violated the right of Missouri residents under the Constitution's First Amendment to, quote, hear from and vote for their preferred presidential candidate. Instead of letting presidential candidates campaign on their own merits, radical progressives, now, I don't know how you can write in that tone, but I'm sure that's exactly what it was, in New York, radical progressives in New York are trying to rig the 2024 election by waging a direct attack on our democratic process. Do all these people have Trump dictate this for them? For God's sake, you're a freaking attorney general, and I'm assuming a lawyer. God. And not only that, let's see, other states, was it Iowa? Who else was backing this up? Iowa, Alaska, Montana, and Florida filed a Supreme Court brief in support of Missouri's lawsuit. Now, Justices Alito and Thomas, who knew, said they would have been interested in hearing the case, but they're not going to invoke any type of stays. Basically, the Supreme Court said, yeah, we're not hearing this. Go away. So the Supreme Court rejected this bit of Missouri. It's amazing. Now, I would imagine that this never had a chance. Actually, the first thing I thought of with this is Missouri doesn't have standing. This is New York state law, not Missouri state law, but they're trying to go the Constitution, bro, because there are a bunch of patriots in Missouri and Florida and Alaska and Iowa and Montana. I imagine it probably would have carried more weight if you could have had, California back you up there, get a big blue state that wants Trump on there. So anyways, let's look at, not so much the Supreme Court decision, because who cares, but we're going to fast forward to September 6th. Judge Merchan is going to be ruling whether or not he's upholding the convictions. And I'm really curious about that. Let's look at the energy around that, these upcoming court cases, okay? Entertainment purposes only. My deck is upside down. It is the star card as the foundation of the reading. Calm after the storm. It's funny. It's also my Stormy Daniels card, right? Because you just got to put the word P-R-O-N, the prawn star. This is a star case. This is the one that he has 34 convictions on. And a victory. With the Four of Swords. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the New York criminal case, the successful prosecution of it with the porn star, and again the victory that was had with the 34 convictions. Now, underneath all of the Four of Swords, the case has been put on ice for the moment. The sentencing was supposed to happen, was it June or July? I'm forgetting now. Before the Supreme Court came in and messed everything up, they were supposed to, it's going to be in July. It was going to be right before the Republican National Conference. That's been put on hold for a few months here, or so. But now we are moving forward with it because we're almost in September. Well, actually, no. We're at the beginning of August. We got 6 weeks to go. In the past, we got the the Hermit card here. Because we're waiting for September, the ninth month. Ninth month is coming. Trump has been shown to be a rapist, and he's also a felon. He was shown to have committed election financial crimes. God, I can't speak. Electual? Is that something one does with Stormy Daniels? He's being revealed for who he is. Current situation is the Nine of Pentacles. There's all these motions going on, trying to figure out now that the Supreme Court's made their ruling, what are you going to do with it? And Judge Merchan is moving forward with it. Overarching energy is the Seven of Swords. This I'm not surprised by. The case has been delayed. Why? Because the Supreme Court has made rulings in such a manner that it helps Donald Trump with all his court cases. The Mar-a-Lago documents case, especially with Thomas's love letter, got dismissed. The January 6th case is now on hold as they have to have hearings now to figure out what a presidential versus non-presidential act is. The Georgia case is going through an ethics committee, and now they're trying to get Trump out of his New York case here. The lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands. We're about less than 2 months away from having to make a decision on the information that's been provided. The outcome is going to be the Double card. Does this mean that Trump's getting off? Not necessarily. I think in the end of the day, what you're going to evaluate is, whatever presidential immunity acts have been gifted by the Supreme Court, does it rise to the level of dismissing this case? That's what you're ultimately deciding. Do these convictions stand up? Gary will be very impressed. My twin brother will be very impressed that the Devil card came up in a Trump reading. All right. So, that's the energy around September 6th. How will, given the energy as it is now, and again, we're a month away. I guess by the time this video comes up on August 6th, I'll record this on August 5th. By the time it comes up on August 6th, we'll be a month away. So, we got a month for things to happen here, but how will Judge Merchan rule on I'm losing cards here. How will he rule on this case? I have to shuffle a couple more times. Sorry. I'm dropping cards here, and I want to make sure that I'm not being biased towards the cards that maybe drop to the bottom, and I want them on top, and all sorts of weird stuff. Randomizing it so Spirit can pick them out for me. This card wants to pop up. It's like literally like this. And is that the Devil card underneath it again? Come on down. I've got the bottom card. Now it's picking out the top card. How is Judge Merchan going to rule on this? Seven of Coins. He's going to evaluate the evidence. There might be some evidence that gets omitted. But here's the thing. On the you reap what you sow bush, there is so much evidence on the bush that if you lose a little bit because of Hope Hicks's testimony of things he said while in the White House, or checks that he wrote from the White House, it's small potatoes compared to what's still growing on the bush. Cross with the World card. His ruling on September 6th really brings this case to a close. It brings to a close the Supreme Court challenges, and the Supreme Court says they don't want to hear this case. So, or at least not Missouri's appeal anyways. And we got the Devil card underneath there. It's going to be he's going to be ruling on Trump. I think it's going to bring Trump to heel, so to speak. In the past, you got the Three of Wands. He had to delay his sentencing by almost 3 months. He's been waiting patiently for to be able to make this ruling on September 6th. Current status when he makes this ruling, how's he going to rule? The Fool card. It's going to be a new day, a new ruling, a fresh start. I don't think he's kicking. No, at the very worst, if we were going to read this at the very worst, he's going to say the case needs to be retried without that evidence. The worst thing that can happen is that it's not like he's going to dismiss the case and say, it's a mistrial and you can't file new charges, dismiss with prejudice. That's not going to happen. If it's going to be done, it'll be a full do-over, except that you won't have the Hope Hicks testimony and you won't have the maybe the checks that he wrote in the White House. But there's so much other evidence here that that's not going to happen. Overarching energy is the Knight of Swords. He's ready to sentence. He's done waiting. September 6th is going to come. He's going to have he's ready to go. Three of Cups, the celebration for the district attorney Alvin Bragg, for Stormy Daniels, for the various people that testified, whose names I'm now starting to forget. There's going to be a celebration. We're going to be celebrating his ruling here. Outcome, Seven of Swords. Now, on a high energy, I could say, some of the information got out, or, Trump would have got away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. But I don't know. I don't think this is a delay. It could be that he finds him guilty. He has him on the calendar for September 18th. I don't know if that's going to get delayed. I think the thief is going to jail, basically. Trump stole things. He did things he wasn't supposed to do, and he's going to be held accountable. I think that's what that is. Sorry. Try not to overthink it with questions. I think in the end of the day, Trump got caught red-handed, and no amount of evidence that you're kicking out, the amount of evidence that's going to be kicked out is minuscule compared to the overwhelming amount of evidence that shows that he did it. Now, September 18th. This is the one, we'll get through the qualitative, now we'll get to the quantitative. Will he sentence him? Yes. What's the sentence going to be like? Let's look at the energy around the September 18th sentencing. I'll probably do a reading closer to it to try and figure out what the sentence might be. But it's going to be tarot. It's going to be difficult. Am I going to get weeks or months or years? I don't know. But let's look at the energy around the September 18th. Oh, God, this card wants to come out. Fine. It's just one of you. It's just one. If it's two, I'm putting you back in. Good, it's one. I'll leave it. I'm leaving it face down. So we will have two signifiers because this card just insists that it gets to be part of the parade. That, or I'm a really lousy shuffler, and don't bet against that. Okay. Foundation of the reading is the World card. I'm not going to turn you over. Okay, fine. I'll turn you over. In the Fool card. How interesting. Because, I'm laughing, there are 22 cards in the deck. The World card is the last card of the major arcana. 22 major arcana in the deck. That's the last card, and this is the first card. So September 18th is going to bring things to an end and bring things to a beginning. Trump's he's going to get jail time. He's getting prison time for this. And there's Judge Mershon sitting there. 9 of Cups, judge and jury. And there's Trump again. I swear to God, I shuffle these cards. I do not put the devil on the bottom. Yeah. Justice is going to be served. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. Justice is going to be served. It's the end of an era and the beginning of a new era for Donald Trump. In the past, the Two of Wands, which I believe was in this position initially, waiting for this day to happen, planning, here it comes. Current situation is the 10 of Coins. There's going to be a fine. There's absolutely going to be a fine. Will that fine be $100,000, $1 million? I don't know. There's going to be a monetary fine of some significance. Now, from Donald Trump's perspective, I'm sure it's pocket change. He could sell some sneakers, 300 sneakers with, never surrender on it and make up the money to pay this off. But there's going to be a fine that's associated with this. Overarching energy is the Nine of Swords. There's some. I think Judge Mershon is stressed out though, because he knows a monetary fine is not enough to change Trump's behavior. Worse still is that Trump's behavior in court was abysmal, and you can take the defendant's behaviors in court as part of your sentencing. One of the first things they're going to ask is, did they take responsibility for their actions, and have they shown any remorse? We know the answer is no on both of those. I really think he should order a psych evaluation. Maybe he could, instead of sending him to Rikers Island, sentence him to a mental health facility for whatever sentencing, so we can get mental health care. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that would be nice. I think I'd be okay with that. The lesson to be learned is the Knight of Cups. I think Mershon is going to be somewhat merciful. Now, again, if he orders a prison sentence, it could be suspended for a certain amount of time, and if Trump doesn't commit any more crimes, then it would be dropped. That is one option. Could be, probation, which would, he pain in the butt to report to a probation officer, but that would be giving him a chance. A first-time felon, even though his business is committed felons, and there's 34 felonies here and stuff like that. But hey, there is some type of compromise that is being given, some type of a sweetheart deal, if you will. Outcome is the Sun card. Truth to be revealed. In the end of the day, I would just say this. Whatever Judge Mershon's sentence is, accept it, embrace it, celebrate it, and it may not be the sentence that you want. It may not be the sentence that I want. But it might be the sentence that Spirit wants. It might be the sentencing that America needs. Okay? We only get to see through the porthole. We don't get to see the whole big picture. I don't know what the sentence is going to be, other than there's going to be financial penalties for this. I mean, how do you sentence somebody for stealing an election? And all the damage that caused for that. You can't put a monetary value on it. You can't put really how many months in prison should you serve for something like that. Honest to God, for me, I would be okay with a month for every violation of the gag order served consecutively, not concurrently. 10 with that 10 of coins. You violated the gag order 10 times, you get 10 one-month sentences. Bye-bye. And after you're done with the first month, you're released, and then you're arrested again and put in prison to serve the next month. And you keep doing that lather, rinse, repeat till you've spent 10 months in prison. And the reason why I like this sentence, it probably won't happen, but the reason why I like it is every time that he lied and got caught violating the gag order, it's a month in prison. So he can't blame anybody. Well, of course, he'll blame everybody but himself. But if you wanted a way to shut him up and keep him from violating the gag order, no, you're going to violate the gag. You're about to violate your gag order. That's going to be a month in prison. Is that what you want? And then make it happen if he gets belligerent. It's enough to make Donald shut up, because Donald doesn't want to go to prison. If only this had been put in place before he violated the gag order 10 times. He never would have violated it 10 times. Because he'd been spending time in prison. And that would have been glorious. But we don't always get what we want. We'll see. It's still got a month, 6 weeks to go. So things are likely to change. But I think it's going to work out fine. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and supporting my channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.